I am also, as of this week, the first female president of the Refractive Surgery Alliance, um, which is a huge honor. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us for Focus Through the Generations. And today with me is Dr. Lisa McIntire. And Lisa, we're so glad to have you with us. Dr. McIntire, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, what's going on in your life, where you practice, and just a little bit about you professionally and personally.
Great, thank you. So my name is Lisa McIntire. I am one of the two owners of Heart of Texas Eye Institute in Dripping Springs, Texas. We're right outside of Austin. We opened our practice 5 years ago. We are an entirely female owned and operated ophthalmic practice, which is a little bit unique and it's been very interesting. A huge learning experience putting this together and growing this practice, both learning how to manage a practice, how to administrate a practice, and how to lead a team, and how to work well with a partner. It just goes on and on. Like the opportunities for personal growth are endless when you own your own business. You can just like grow and grow. Let's see. So I am a refractive surgeon. I trained at Wake Forest, and then I did my fellowship at Tulane in cornea and refractive surgery. I've been practicing in this space for the last 10 years, a little more than 10 years. And I just absolutely love it. It's a very gratifying experience to be able to bring vision to someone, which affects their every waking moment for the rest of their life, and their job opportunities and their abilities to interact with the world around them. It's very cool to be a part of that. I am also, as of this week, the first female president of the Refractive Surgery Alliance, which is a huge honor. Thank you. I'm very excited to serve. It's an amazing group of thought leaders in refractive surgery. And I'm especially excited to find out how I can serve as the first female, or as a female. I'll just say that. and it's really brought a lot of introspection and thought as to how can I lead from my truth, I am a woman, and what is it that is inherent to me and my own strength that I can bring to serve without just trying to be a man, which I'll never be. I'll never be the best at that. So how can I be the best me? And this is a new opportunity to grow, to grow and serve.
We're so happy to hear that. I'm clapping in my heart and my head. So I'm really happy. What about your personal life? How is that? How do you have the work-life balance? I know it's going to differ with every generation, I feel like, but how do you make certain that you have that work-life balance?
Yeah, I think it's ever evolving. I am blessed beyond measure. I don't know what else to say. My husband has been very flexible and I think forgiving at times to let me do what I'm doing, because we also have two boys. We have two teenagers, and my work is extremely demanding. So Jim is my husband. He's made a lot of sacrifices in his career. But what's worked for us, we've had struggles, don't get me wrong. It hasn't just been rosy the whole time. We sometimes struggle before we figure it out. But just like honest conversation, honest communication, and even overdoing it. Because the thing that makes us hit roadblocks or hit walls, hit each other's head, is when we assume that the other person thinks like we think. Like, well, it's obvious. Like, why are you doing this? You're clearly wrong, or trying to be hurtful. Um, but no, we really do. See some things different, and it's taken us a while to learn how to compromise, um but we do. So he does some work from home, and he is always available for the kids, for their doctor's appointments, for dropping off and picking up from school, everything that needs to happen. That's how our life works. A million ways to do it. That's what we do.
I love that. Mine was similar when my boys were little. I traveled all the time, so my husband did the same thing, and then we did too. We knocked heads a lot, but we usually came to the right conclusion. Um, there's some things that we want to ask you here, and that is, right now in your ophthalmic career, who's your go-to person when you have an ophthalmic issue or a patient or a dilemma? Who's your go-to?
Mm. Um, so I don't have one, but I have a couple of, or a few forums that I reach out to with difficult patients. Um, just trusted colleagues who I know will tell me that they don't know if they don't, or send me in the right direction. Um, yeah. And I won't say that it's always that. There are certainly people who I know are really good at a certain thing. If I have a smile question, I'm gonna text Dan Reinstein. You're like, what do I do here? I don't know. Whatever the problem is, I'll probably pick who my go-to person is.
So you have a go-to person for everything. That's a good thing. That's good. Not just one. One person can't know it all anyway. We know that. Um, how have you been able to manage through COVID? How has your practice been able to survive? I know you survived because you're here. So, and what do you see the changes in 2021 moving forward that even if it were released today, if today we could go back to normal, what practice did you learn or adapt to in 2020 that you'll take into 2021?
That I'm gonna just kind of preface my words here by saying, like, don't judge me too hard. Because nobody is going to agree with what I'm saying. If I just come out and say 2020 was a great year, but we learned so much in 2020 that it would have taken us a decade or 15 years to slowly muddle through and find out all of our problems that we had to fix if we did it just kind of on a normal keel. But under the fire, we found out really quick where our weak links were and what we had to work on. Um, it's been it's been hard. It's been hard, but so super valuable. The beginning, oh my gosh, it was in March and April. We were managing emotions. We were managing fears. We didn't have a virus. I don't think there were any cases in Hayes County, but just people were terrified. We had no idea what to expect. And as a leader, I didn't know that I was going to be able to get them through it. I couldn't say, hey, it's going to be fine. I've got this. I did not know that I had this. But we would have, as often as we needed to, at least weekly, sometimes more, just group sessions where we'd say, what's happening for you right now? Like, how are you? And we'd go around the room and we'd talk about our concerns or our worries. And all that I could do is just be honest and say, like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do my best for you, and we're all going to do our best for each other. It wasn't like I'm the one doing everything. And we'll see what happens. That's all we can do.
That was awesome. What would you take in? If you had to pick one thing that you would not let go of, that you that you found out that made it your practice a better place, or you as a better doctor, what would it be that you take into 2021?
So the main thing, one of the main things that I learned this year that seems like it would be intuitive, but it wasn't for me, was that Lisa McIntire and Heart of Texas Eye Institute are two different things. And it was easy for me to get my ego wrapped into Heart of Texas Eye Institute because my name is on the door, and everybody knows I own it. And I felt like everybody's actions were a representation of me. And that made me very I guess insecure, or felt like I needed to be in control of what everybody did. And realize, like, being able to draw that separation and step back a little bit, not to say that I don't oversee and support, and we still have standards of care, but I can give a little bit of breathing room to people so that they can master their own world um, in their own right, not just as my proxy.
I like.
That's a big one for me.
I have just a couple more questions, but one of them is, what is one of the most memorable cases that you have performed, whether it was your toughest or whether it was just your most heartwarming case? Just give us one case that stands out to you as the one that you will never forget.
Um, so one case that comes to mind right away, um, and these little gems, they're surprises when they come along, because this young man, he had amblyopia. So as a child, he had a refractive error stronger in one eye than the other. His parents didn't know about it. He didn't get patched. He didn't get treated. And as an adult, he could only see about 20/60, maybe 2100 out of his amblyopic eye. Could see 20/20 out of the other, but he needed strong prescription for both of them. And so we went through his consultation, had the whole conversation about expectations. We're going to be getting you to see as well as you can with your glasses. That's our intention. You're going to be able to see 20/60 without glasses. Without glasses. So we did his procedure. We did his he had LASIK surgery, and the next day he's 20/25 in his amblyopic eye, and the next week he's 20/15 in his amblyopic eye. And this boy has never seen the world like this. Like, I still see him. He works in the building with me, and he just, well, he can't hug me anymore, but he just he would hug me every time we saw each other. Just still so grateful to be able to have this new life experience.
I love that. You gave him life. Literally, sight is life. You gave him life, a life that he had never experienced before. I love that. That's so perfect. And to be able to see him every day is also perfect, because it's a constant reminder of what you do.
Yes.
And how grateful you are for what you do. It just, to me, is a really great reminder of that. I have one last question, and then I'm going to let you go. How have you seen technology in ophthalmology transition since your career started? And where do you see it going in the future?
That's a great question, because there's so much being done all of the time. I think in the last 10 years, since I started practicing, refractive surgery is just getting even more and even more accurate. And a lot of that is on the diagnostic end. So that means to me safer. That means to me either not doing surgery on people that shouldn't have it, because we're able to really narrow down on those criteria. maybe even expanding in some places and saying, well, without this technology, we wouldn't have been sure. So we'd have said no, but now we can say yes to you because we're sure. And it even means even more precise, because it's been precise and it's been great for a long time, but even more precision in the fringe cases, and the ones that are difficult are becoming more and more accurate and precise, and having confidence in outcomes. What I see happening in, did you say 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 10 years. I think that this is reasonable. I think refractive surgery is going to be the primary vision care option for people suffering with refractive error. I think that it's not going to be for the elite and the privileged and those who are fortunate enough to have access. I think people who can't see are going to be able to have their vision corrected. And then they're going to be able to go out into the workforce and the community and serve in their own capacity. That's what I see happening.
Because that's what I hope happens. I really love that because it should happen for everyone to be able to have that. I agree with you. I love your excitement. Dr. McIntyre, you have been amazing as always, and I appreciate you so very much. And congratulations again on your appointment, and we will look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you, Polly. The feeling is mutual. I always enjoy an opportunity to speak with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thanks for coming.